on. Okay, so the next thing that we want to look at is something called the trigger level. And I can adjust here. Look right here at this edge. As I change the trigger level, you can see where it starts drawing is varying. And I'm changing the trigger level. That's a setting where it's basically telling the oscilloscope, start drawing when the voltage reaches this threshold. And don't start drawing until it reaches that threshold. The reason that you want to be able to set the trigger is because there might be noise in the signal. So if I'm sending a pulse, this is a continuous waveform. It just keeps repeating over and over and over again. But let's say I wanted to send just a pulse. Well, if this guy were sending a pulse, I could have another cable going into the trigger input, and this guy would send a signal to the oscilloscope telling it, hey, the pulse is about to come, start drawing. And so that way you'd be able to display the pulse rather than have it, the electrons are going across the screen and then the pulse is there and you don't see anything because the electron gun is resetting. And so it's a timing thing to make sure that everything lines up. Now, the default on this oscilloscope is to have a positive trigger. That means, so right now I've set the trigger level to be 1 volt. Yes, 1 volt, because I'm at 1 volt per division and it's starting to draw right when it's at 1 volt. It's also set to be positive because the reason that I know that is it's drawing with a positive slope. Now, when I pull this knob out, that'll switch to negative triggering. So watch what happens on this side when I pull the knob out and I switch to negative triggering. I twisted the knob a little bit, but you can see it's now going downward. And that's indicating it's basically the oscilloscope trigger is set to not start drawing until it reaches this much voltage going downwards. And that is how the trigger works.